Okay, it has been started, and today we are going to the concept of Volter's model. Now, some of the people would be like, sir, we have already done it. I am absolutely agree with you. You might have done it in the dividend decision models, but that is also a part of the finance mathematics, very much fundamentals of the financial mathematics. Share valuation is something which is going to be extremely useful for you in various circumstances. Situation number one, when one company will be taking over another company, and if you are the investment banker over there, it's going to be useful. Number two, when you will be the investor, if you want to identify whether the stock is overvalued or undervalued, stock valuation is useful to you at that time. Number three, when one company is selling the business outlet to another company and another company is making the payment for the shares which are getting transferred to him or her, at that time also valuation comes into the picture. Number four, when the IPO comes into the market, initial public offer comes into the market, when the shares and securities are issued for the very first time in the market, at that time as well, if you want to invest, the valuation of the share is going to be useful to you, because at that time you will be able to know whether the valuation is overvalued or undervalued. Even if you think from the perspective of the people who are issuing the IPO, not from the your perspective who is going to invest it. Even if you go to the another side who are issuing these shares, if they want to issue the shares at one particular price, first they need to do is the valuation. Because if they would be putting too much of price of the shares, no one is going to subscribe that. Because ultimately people are not the fools investors, right? If the prices are too much, people are not going to invest in that. So valuation comes into the picture in various circumstances. When the two companies are coming together, when there is a demerger of the company, when one company is purchasing the business of another company, when you are as an investor wants to invest in any of the company, when you are investing in the IPO, when one company comes with the IPO, in all such circumstances, valuation comes into the picture. That's why it is the concept which deserves the maximum attention. Sharing my screen with all of you with Walter's model. Now, in the Walter's model, there are primarily two arguments, my dear fellas and fellies. Please try to understand. The argument number one and the parameter number one on which the Walter's model is developed is that dividend dividend is affecting the valuation. So Mr. Walter is of the strong opinion that dividend is something which affects the valuation. So how much dividend which company pays or which company is going to pay in the future, that ultimately decides that what shall be the valuation of this company in the market. Because ultimately the person who is investing in the shares is going to look after the returns which he or she is going to get from that share. If the returns are good, if returns are bad, in both these situations, his decision will be different. So ultimately, what affects to the shareholders, as per Mr. Walter, is that what is the amount of dividend which you are giving to the shareholders. Number two, the relationship between KE and R. KE stands for the cost of equity and R stands for the rate of return on investment. In other words, KE can also be taken as expectations of equity shareholders. So it is nothing but the expectation of equity shareholders. What is the cost for the company? The cost for the company is nothing but what is the expectations of the equity shareholders from the company. Okay. Now, relationship between KE and R, and I want to derive the answers from you only. Try to understand what are those two words, and I will ask the questions to all of you here. KE stands for the expectations of the equity shareholder in terms of percentage return, and R stands off for rate of return on investment made by the company. अब मैं बहुत ही सिंपल सा, प्यारा सा, छोटू सा एग्जांपल आपके सामने रखता हूं, समझने की कोशिश कीजिए। अगर मैं कोई कंपनी में इन्वेस्ट करूं, मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन है 12% और कंपनी अर्न करती है 14%, तो मुझे डिविडेंड लेना चाहिए कि नहीं लेना चाहिए? अगर लेना चाहिए तो क्यों लेना चाहिए? नहीं लेना चाहिए तो भी क्यों नहीं लेना चाहिए? I need the answers from all the students here. If you can give me the answer. I haven't presented it yet or what? Oops. Please look at my Excel file. As I've already stated, that was not in a present view. Sorry for that. Dividend is something which affects the valuation of the shares as per the Walters model. Number two, there is a relationship between KE and R. KE stands for the cost of equity, and in other words, we can say expectations of equity shareholders. And R stands for the rate of return on investment by the company. So if my expectations as equity shareholder is 12% and company is earning 14% on that money, then whether I should take the dividend or not? My question to all, everyone, please. All of you. I hope you have understood my question. Yes or no? भैया नींद में से उठ जाइए, ब्लैंकेट ऊपर बैठ के सोए हुए हैं तो ब्लैंकेट को निकाल दीजिए। उठ जाना है हमें, पढ़ना है, मेहनत करनी है, आगे बढ़ना है, खून पसीना लगा देना है अपने गोल के ऊपर। हम क्यों आगे ना बढ़े? हम क्यों अपने गोल्स के पीछे रह जाए? हमें सब कुछ पाना है, सब कुछ करना है। थोड़ी सी मेहनत करके बेड पे से खड़े हो जाइए। Okay, already rate of return is more than dividend, so that's why it should not be taken. That is the opinion of Miss Chandini. Okay, any company is having the two alternatives as far as the dividends is concerned. Alternative number one, that it pays the dividend. Alternative number two, it will keep it as retained earnings. So, retained earnings is nothing but the dividend foregone by the shareholders. This is the money which shareholders are not taking as a dividend. This is the money which they are keeping as a reserves and surpluses to the company. Now try to understand. There are two alternatives for the company, whether to pay the dividend or not to pay the dividend. If it is paid, it is regarded as dividend. If it is not paid, it is called as retained earnings. That is the money kept by the company as a reserves and surplus in the balance sheet. Now, if I give you another example, say if my expectations is just 12%, if company will pay me the money, then what I will do? I will invest this money somewhere at 12% because my maximum expectations from this particular share is 12% only. I have clearly stated my expectations that I want 12% from these shares, right? Say if company will not pay the dividend and company will keep this money as a retained earnings, then company will earn 14% on it. Then what happens? मैं सोचूंगा, if I am an intelligent shareholder, If I am a rational shareholder, I will think कि अगर मैं खुद के पास पैसा ले लूंगा तो 12% रिटर्न लेके मैं वहां से कल्टी मार लूंगा, और 12% रिटर्न में मेरी लिक्विडिटी भी कुछ ऐसी नहीं छूटने वाली है। मैं सीसीडी में जाके कॉफी पी लूंगा या फिर कई और जगह पे जाके पैसे को खर्च कर दूंगा, पीवीआर में जाके मूवी देख लूंगा। लेकिन वही पैसा अगर कंपनी अपने पास रखती है तो वो 14% वहां पे रिटर्न देती है। तो मेरे पास रहे कि कंपनी के पास रहे, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? मेरे को तो दो रिटर्न मिलते हैं ना, मेरे को थोड़ी ना डिविडेंड एक ही रिटर्न मिलता है। इफ आई एम अ शेयर होल्डर, आई एम गेटिंग द टू टाइप्स ऑफ रिटर्न्स। नंबर वन इज द डिविडेंड and number two is the increase in market price. So if I do not take the dividend as 12%, if money is there with the company itself, then company बुद्धू तो नहीं है। कंपनी के पास तो फाइनेंस के एक्सपर्ट्स बैठे हुए हैं, कंपनी के पास ऐसे ऐसे मानधाता लोग बैठे हुए हैं जो उसको और अच्छी तरीके से यूटिलाइज करके 14% अर्न कर सकते हैं। तो अगर कंपनी अर्न करेगी तो कंपनी के रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस और बढ़ेंगे, कंपनी के रिजर्व्स एंड सरप्लस और बढ़ेंगे तो कंपनी की फंडामेंटल फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन और अच्छी होगी, और अगर कंपनी की फंडामेंटल फाइनेंशियल पोजीशन और अच्छी होगी तो मेरी मार्केट प्राइस होगी वो बढ़ जाएगी। तो मुझे डिविडेंड ना मिले, ठीक है भाई, मेरी मार्केट प्राइस तो बढ़ रही है और वो भी पहुंचो 14% से बढ़ेगी। लेकिन अगर मैं डिविडेंड की एक्सपेक्टेशंस रखता हूं तो मुझे सिर्फ 12% ही मिलने वाले हैं। तो कहने का तात्पर्य यह हुआ, बहुत ही सिंपल सी भाषा में, सबको समझ में आ जाए वैसी भाषा में, कि अगर कंपनी हमसे ज्यादा अर्न करती है, कंपनी हमसे ज्यादा, हमसे मतलब किससे? इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर से। वी आर थिंकिंग फ्रॉम द पर्सपेक्टिव ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स। अगर कंपनी हमसे ज्यादा अर्न कर सकती है तो फिर कंपनी के पास पैसे रहने दो भैया। कंपनी 14% का रिटर्न जनरेट करी है, मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन सिर्फ 12% की है, मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन से ज्यादा अर्न करती है तो पैसे उनके पास रहने चाहिए, वो और अच्छी तरीके से यूटिलाइज करेंगे। लेकिन लेकिन अगर मेरी एक्सपेक्टेशन से ज्यादा है लेकिन कंपनी अर्न नहीं कर पा रही है, my expectations from these shares is 15%, but company is just able to earn 11% on it. Then if my money will be kept at a company, then it will be able to earn only 11%, which is not at all satisfying the expectations which I have set. I have the minimum expectations of 15% as a return. Then what will happen? Then I would say, Mr. Company, you are not paying me the return as per my expectations. My money should be given to me as a part of dividend, because whatever the amount which you are generating at the profit, I am the ultimate shareholder, I am the permanent contributor of your capital. I deserve this money. Give this money to me because my expectations is higher than what you are earning. If you will put this money into the work, into assets, into the businesses, the company will be able to generate only 11% from this. But if I will keep it with me, then I have various other alternatives where I can earn 15% as well. So what happens? In this case, I should take the dividend entirely. And if you have understood this logical flow, where company is earning more than the expectations of equity, no dividend. And when my expectations is more than the company, then full dividend. So this is the relationship between KE and R, and that is prescribed by Mr. Walter, and this primary argument is taken into consideration while giving the model, mathematical model for shell valuation. There is a logic behind this model, and I have explained you this logic. So according to this logic, what Mr. Walter is saying, that if K is more than R, that means expectations of the equity shareholders is much higher than the return which company earns, then give 100 percentage dividend to all the shareholders. Means dividend payout ratio shall be 100 percentage. So that means whatever the profit which you are earning and the amount which is available to the equity shareholders after making the taxes and all such sort of an expenses, whatever the money is left, give it entirely to equity shareholders if KE is more than R. But if KE is less than R, that means logically, if we try to understand that, that means expectations of the equity shareholders are lower than the rate of return which company earns, then dividend payout ratio shall be 0 percentage. That means no dividend shall be paid because company is able to earn more than the expectations of the equity shareholders. That's why money should be with the company. And in this case, dividend payout ratio shall be 0 percentage. And when K will be equal to R, exactly equal to R. So at that point of time, it really doesn't matter whether you pay the dividend or you do not pay the dividend. So whatever the amount you pay as a dividend, whatever the dividend payout ratio would be, there will be no effect on the market price when KE will be equal to R, because that is the primary concern given by the Mr. Walter. I hope you have understood this. Any queries, any question till now? If you have, please let me know.
No,
Miss
sir.
Good to see that. Miss Chitra, Miss Creamy, Mr. Dhananjay, Miss Aditi, Miss Ashwini, Mr. and Mrs. Bhavya. Thank you very much. Miss Ishita, thank you. So I have given you a clear-cut relationship between KE and R, and accordingly, now we are trying to build one formula, and that formula is looking like this. As per Walter model, P1, P we can call it as price. As per Walter, and that is coming at first thing is taken into account is the dividend plus E minus D multiplied by R divided by KE, and that is to be divided by the KE again. This is D. Okay, so this is how the formula of Walter looks like. D plus E minus D multiplied by R divided by KE, that is to be divided by the KE again. Please everyone, note this down. Note this formula over here. My my battery is low, so I need to plug in the chargers. Please give me a 1 second, everyone. Just give me 30 seconds. My battery is low. I need to plug in the charger. Okay, it's plugged in. Thank you very much for the support. Sharing my screen again. And my screen should be visible to all of you. Going over there, this is how the formula of Walter model looks like. Now, some of the people would be like, sir, what is that D? D is nothing but the dividend per share. E is nothing but the earning per share, right? So what is that earning per share? I'm trying to explain this. EPS, we can call it EPS as well. So whatever the profit which company generates, no, that is called as profit after tax. After making the taxes to the government, after incurring all the expenses, whatever the amount which is left now is regarded as profit after tax. But from this, dividend needs to be paid to the two people. One sort of a people is the dividend shareholders. Another type of people is equity shareholders. So as the preference shares are there, they needs to be given the dividend first because their name itself is preference shares, right? So preference का मतलब ही होता है कि उनको पहला preference देना है. तो minus preference dividend. So say PAT is this much. So if you divide the preference dividend, so you come to net income, or in other words, we can call it earning for equity. Earning for equity. So whatever the earning for equity is available, if you divide that by number of equity shares, then you get EPS. That is nothing but the earning per share. Please everyone write it down in your book if you are writing. I think you should write. I think you must write if I am being little authoritative, because when you write it, your retention increases by many folds, scientifically proven fact. So this is how the formula looks like. D plus E. E is earning per share minus D into R divided by KE, and the whole needs to be divided by the KE again. तो इसके लिए हमने एक बहुत ही फनी सा, अच्छा सा, मस्त सा सॉन्ग बनाया है. तो सभी बच्चे मेरे साथ ये सॉन्ग गाएंगे. पापा के सामने बैठे हो, मम्मी के सामने बैठे हो, भाई के सामने बैठे हो, टीवी देख रहे हो, टीवी बंद है, बेडरूम में बैठे हो, हॉल में बैठे हो, किचन में बैठे हो, डाइनिंग रूम में बैठे हो, किधर भी बैठे हो, मेरे साथ सब कोई बिना कोई शर्म या लज्जा के ये गीत गाना शुरू करेंगे. और सभी मेरे साथ गीत गाने के लिए शुरू है, रेडी है? अगर रेडी है तो मैं शुरू करता हूँ. एवरीवन गिव मी अ कंफर्मेशन. ऑल ऑफ यू विल बी सिंगिंग दिस सॉन्ग along with me to remember this formula. Good to see that. Good to see that. Good to see that. Everyone, give me some seconds to do the riyas. My soors and tals will not be fitting. I am extremely sorry well in advance for that. So if someone who is a singing kida in you and would be like, sir, soor nahi match ho rahe, to beta main singing wala banda nahi hu. Everyone would be doing it along with me. D plus E minus D into R divided by K. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by the K again. The whole is divided by K again. So the people would be like, sir, it needs to be repeated. We couldn't get it properly. Okay. D plus E minus D into R divided by K. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by K again. The whole is divided by K again. Is it clear? Did you get it? Will you be all singing along with me over there without putting any sharam or hayya over there? बिल्कुल शर्माने की जरूरत नहीं है. सबके सामने दिल खोल के गाइए भैया. D plus E minus D into R divided by K. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by K again. The whole is divided by K again. So this is my Volter's formula. This is how it looks like. These are the various things we have in the Volter's formula. Everyone note it down. Now we will move to the practical questions of the same. Okay, my screen is there in front of you, giving you 30 seconds to write it down. If you want to write what is this EPS, you can write the structure of the EPS as well. I think you should. I think you must. If you're doing it, meanwhile, I'll open the practical questions on that.
Sir, screen is black.
Screen is black. Okay, check
Blank.
screen. Blank. Okay. Stop sharing. Sharing this again. A window. I think the Excel file must be visible now, right? If I'm not wrong. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Good to see that. I'm opening the practicals for module number 2. Just give me a second. Question bank module 2. Okay, let's start with question number 1. I am copying that question so that it will be better for you. तब तक थोड़ा सा रटते रहिए सॉन्ग को. तो सॉन्ग रट जाएगा तो आ जाएगा. ऐसा फॉर्मूला रटना वो आम जिंदगी है. फॉर्मूला का सॉन्ग बना देना वो मेंटोस जिंदगी है. कि I do not have the good space over here. Just give me a second. Let me paste it over here. Good. So we have the question in front of us. Let's try to understand and read out the question very carefully of Mr. Walter. And then we will find that what is the price which Walter, as per the Walter's model we have. Another question is there. Let's try to read it out. What is the requirement? The following information relates to Maya Limited. Maya. Oh. Earnings of the company is 10 lakhs. Dividend payout ratio, which is the current dividend payout ratio, is 60%. Number of outstanding shares is 2 lakhs. Rate of return on investment, that is nothing but the R as we have done in the formula. Yes or no? Yes, sir, we have got it. Equity capitalization rate, that is nothing but K. This is my R. Now to find the value of the share as per Mr. Walter, we require few things. Let's write the formula again. So P equal to D plus E minus D into R divided by K. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by K again. Now K we have from the sum itself, that is 12%. R is also given over there straight away directly in the question. But we do not have this E as well as the D. But to find the E that stands for the EPS and D that stands for the dividend, we have the information. Earnings of the company is given to you. No, from that you can find it. Okay, so let's start with working note number 1. Let me write over there. Earning of the company, and earning of the company is 10 lakhs. So I'm writing 10 lakhs over there. Now, do we have any information related to preference shares? If there is no information, that means there is no preference shares. So this entire earning of the company is now available to whom? is available to the equity shareholders. Okay, if you divide it by number of shares which are equity shares, then you get the EPS. So do we have any number of equity shares? Yes, in information number 3 we have 2 lakhs. So I'm writing 2 lakhs over there. So 10 divided by 2, so that comes at 5 rupees per share. That is my EPS. Now EPS के बाद हमें dividend payout ratio दिया हुआ है, that is 60%. So if I apply dividend payout ratio at 60%, so 60% of 5 is coming at 3, right? So 3 is the dividend per share. Now whatever we had required in the formula, right from the E to D to R to K, we have got it. So now we are just supposed to put it everything we have found into the formula so that we get the answer. So D stands for the dividend per share, 3 plus E stands for earning per share, that is coming at 5 minus 3 over here. D is dividend per share. R is the rate of return expected from the investments made by the company, that is 15%. So 0.15. K stands for the expectations of the equity shareholders, which is equity capitalization rate, that is 0.12. To avoid the calculation mistakes and errors, if I'll be putting their percentage, I know many of the students will be making the horrendous mistakes. So let's avoid those mistakes. 0.15 divided by 0.12. Remember that in the back of your mind there is KE again, that is to be divided by the whole. So 0.12. Now it is बच्चों का खेल, because any 7th or 8th grade student can solve this equation. Now simplify this. Everyone do it and let me know what is the prize you are getting. I can do it, but I do not want to do it क्योंकि मेरे को भी कुछ privileges लेने हैं. I want my students to do it and I want answers from all the students. Everyone start doing it. Use your calculator and brain if you have any. I'm sure calculator you might not have, but brain you should be having. Do it and let me know. Yes, please.
सर वो डिविडेंड पर शेयर में हमने डिफरेंस लिया सर.
डिविडेंड पर शेयर में डिफरेंस? कुछ तो डिफरेंस नहीं लिया बेटा. 5 रुपए ईपीएस आ रहा है और यहाँ पे बताया कि डिविडेंड पे आउट रेशियो है वो 60% है. तो 60% किसका? ये 5 रुपए का. तो 5 रुपए का 60% कितना आता है? 3 रुपए आता है. समझ में आ रही है कि नहीं?
जी सर, जी सर. हाँ सर, आ रही है सर.
गुड, थैंक यू वेरी मच. Simplify this further and let me know, everyone, all of you.
So the answer is 52.08.
52.08. So as per Mr. Walter, this shall be the price of the share if we consider dividend payout ratio as well as the relationship between KE and R. But my next question, and that next question is there in the question itself. Question number 2, everyone try to read it out very properly. What is the optimum dividend payout ratio according to Walter's model and market value of company share as per that payout ratio? Now, my question to all, if you have understood it well, I think you should be knowing this answer. What is the optimum dividend payout ratio in the prevailing circumstances? Please try to understand the relationship between KE and R and let me know what is the best dividend payout ratio to maximize your price. We have just gone through that. All of you? No one? I hope you have understood my question well. Again, putting across the question in front of you. Question number 2 in the sum itself. What is the optimum dividend payout ratio according to Walter's model? If we consider this prevailing circumstance, and if I give you the hint, please consider R and K and let me know whether the dividend shall be kept with the company or it should be distributed to the equity shareholders. All of you, जाग जाइए. अब तो हमने सॉन्ग भी गा दिया, अब भी नींद आ रही है तो फिर बहुत नींद आ रही है.
Sir, it should be kept with the company only.
It should be kept with the company. What is the logic behind it?
Rate of return is more.
Very true. So when the rate of return of the company is more than the expectations of the equity shareholder, that means R is more than KE, or I can say KE is less than R. No. Yes, this is how it is, I guess. Yes, rate of return on investment is 15% and KE is less than R. So when the company is earning more, at what point of time I would say, yes, Mr. Company, you should keep it the money with you. That means if company should keep the money with company, that means dividend payout ratio shall be how much? 0%. So dividend shall not be paid at all. So let's try to see that. That is the optimum dividend payout ratio coming as per Mr. Walter. Now, whether we are able to maximize the market price by following his argument or not by his model, let's try to see that. Okay. D plus E minus D into R divided by KE. Remember that in the back of your mind. The whole is divided by KE again. Okay, now he says that dividend payout ratio should be 0 to maximize the market price. Why? Because R is more than KE. मतलब कि कंपनी हमसे ज्यादा अच्छा अर्न करती है. एक्सपेक्टेशंस ऑफ इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर जितने हैं उससे ज्यादा कंपनी अर्न करती है. मतलब पैसा होना चाहिए कंपनी के पास, पैसा होना चाहिए कंपनी के पास. उसका मतलब होता है कि डिविडेंड हमें बिल्कुल भी नहीं लेना चाहिए. तो 0 डिविडेंड आता है. ई में तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. अर्निंग पर शेयर विल रिमेन 5 एज इट इज. डिविडेंड दो की ना दो, अर्निंग के ऊपर तो फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा ना. डिविडेंड shall be 0 again, multiplied by R. R is 0.15, KE is 0.12. That is to be divided by 0.12 again. So let's solve this now. 0 will remain 0. So let's simplify this further. So 5 multiplied by 0.15 divided by 0.12. Everyone start doing it and let me know what is the price coming. So 1.25 over here to be divided by 0.12. 6.25 in the numerator and we have 0.12 in the denominator. And I'm getting 52.08. Are we able to maximize the market price? 1 second. Who got this final answer 52.08 over here? Are you sure you have got 52.08 over there? The first one?
Yes.
Let me do it again. 3 plus you have 2 and 2 you will be multiplying with 0.15 divided by 0.12. So that is coming in 1.25 divided by 0.12. So 2 multiplied by 1.25. So you get 3 plus 2.5, and in denominator you have 0.12. So 5.5 in denominator you have 0.12. So 5.5 divided by 0.12, that comes at 45.83. How did you get 52 over there in the first one? In the first one it is 45.83. Yes or no? The one who said yes to me.
Yes, sir.
Yes. How did you get this 52.8, which was the answer of the second one? So first one we have got the answer of 45.83, and second one we have got is 52.08. So that means we are able to increase the market price if we follow the arguments given by Mr. Walter, that is, if R is more than K, the dividend shall be distributed. R is more than K, that means dividend shall not be distributed. That means dividend payout ratio shall be 0. That means dividend should be 0. And if we take dividend that is 0 over here, and if we do this calculation, so it is coming at 52.08. That is the answer of second question, not the first question. So one person said me that, sir, for the first one we are getting the answer. For the first one we are getting the answer, that was 45.83. I hope it is clear, everyone. Any queries you have, any questions you have, let me know. All of you. Till now, anything which you couldn't understand or where you require my efforts again? And if you have got it, then that's it for the day. Walter's model we have done. Next lecture we will derive Gordon's model. Various other models we are going to study one by one. Till now, any queries or questions? All of you, Bhavya, Ishita, Ashwini, Chandni, Jai, Shivangi, thank you very much. So let me stop the recording now.